Welcome, y'all, back to another episode. This episode, we have a very special guest, my girl, Wylonda.
Hey y'all.
Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, I'm not that good at introductions, but my name is Wylonda. Um, Me and Deja have been friends for many
Forever.
years. So proud of her. So a little quick, give you your flowers. But I am currently right now. I work at the CDC here in Atlanta, and I am a fitness and health specialist. So yeah, but I'm gonna keep it nice and
Hey,
short.
what's your mental health like?
My mental health is pretty high. It's Labor Day weekend, so I have an extended day off, so I'm very
Yes,
happy. But yeah, overall, I feel like everything has been pretty good. I feel like I've been in high spirits.
I love that for
So
you.
yeah.
I have an extended day off too, but I'm mad about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go to work. What y'all talking about? What I want to talk to you
Right.
about is just health and fitness in general. So,
Mhm.
can you tell me how mental health and physical health are related?
So they are very interchangeable. You can't have mental health without your physical health. Like they go hand in hand. If you
Mhm.
have poor mental health, you're gonna have poor physical health, and vice versa. So I feel like we put a lot of emphasis on one, like, oh, let's focus on your mental and or let's focus on your physical instead of figuring out ways to combine the two.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Which exercises, because you're a physical therapist, my girl, which exercises do you think are best for mental health and your physical health so that you're not?
Yeah. I can't pick a particular exercise,
Mhm.
but what I always recommend to people is start walking.
Yep,
Like
I
that
was gonna say
that is
that.
definitely gonna help. Preferably in some type of sunlight
Mm.
because you're gonna get those vitamins that we need. We're inside all day long, so we are more susceptible to anxiety and depression because we don't have that, we're not getting that energy from the sun. So therefore, our energy is already naturally a little bit low. So I always
Okay.
tell people, just go ahead and start walking and preferably somewhere outside. It's a little bit hard depending on where you live at,
Yep.
especially in this Atlantic heat sometimes, but you still just gotta make
Girl,
it
the
do.
Houston Heat, y'all spoiled.
Right? No,
Yep.
y'all right next door. I'm not gonna lie.
It's too hot. It is too hot. But I feel you. Walking is like probably the only exercise I do. I'm not proud of that, y'all. But I do walk a lot. I walk
Hey.
a lot, especially with Echo, my dog. So I like
No,
to
that's
go.
perfect. That's
Mm-hmm.
what pets are good for. They get you out and about, and they help with the social part, the little
They
mental
do.
part. Because you meet people and you get to
Mm-hmm.
socialize a little bit. So
So
yeah.
how would you start your workout journey if your mental health is poor? Like say somebody's depressed and they know like they want to get into the gym. What would you say can help them get out of bed and get into the gym?
Okay, first, when people have low mental health and they're in that, it's phases for this, but
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But when they're in that pre-contemplation stage, they may not start exercising in the next 6 months, or
Right.
that could be extended depending on where you at are mentally or whatever you have going on. Um, what I would say for somebody that's trying to get into it is you can start at home. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
don't have to go out and get a membership because a lot of the barriers for exercise is number one, people don't have time, and two, they don't have the finances to afford gym membership, or your gym might be too far away, or whatever the case may be.
Or you
So
nervous? That's my problem. I don't want nobody looking at me. I don't want
it's
nobody.
plenty of resources on YouTube. Like I always tell people, especially if you are new to exercise, you can start with beginners Pilates. I think that's a
Hmm.
really good segue for people to come in if you're not ready to do like weights and all of this type of stuff. Like, people know like the basic exercises, but just something that's going to get you, work on your proprioception, something that's going to get your mind connected to your body. Because that's where people struggle. Like, they just go in
Hmm.
the gym, like, oh, I'm going to just start working out. And they don't really know, like, okay, your mind has to connect to your muscles so you can have that contraction. So, yeah, I would definitely say YouTube is a great starter kit if you really not feeling the best and you want to get started somewhere. I would say just start on YouTube because it's a little less intimidating, than just
Hmm.
going in the gym. So
They just be anxious.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
so
I've
anxious.
definitely had that my own self, like just being like self conscious. So like, am I wearing the right type of stuff, or like
Right.
is it? I don't know. It's just like, but in all reality, nobody's really paying attention to you. But it's just like it's a mental thing. It's
Yes,
really
I
a
would
mental
even
block.
say
Like
that.
I'm sure there's a psychology to this. Like there,
Hmm.
you really will think like, oh, like people are staring at me, or they're probably thinking like, oh, like what are they in the gym for? Whatever. Like,
Right. But in reality, nobody's even thinking about you. Like those
Nobody
are
be
our
paying
own
attention.
thoughts.
Right, right.
Have to work on those. So what do you think are the benefits of social media and just people's fitness journeys?
Okay, so I kind of go back and forth with this a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just talk about the positives to it. Number one, influence. Like it's out there. People gonna be on their phones more than anything, and they're gonna be on
Mm-hmm.
social media more than anything. So they could just be scrolling and see like a nice little video, and something like, oh, you want a big butt or something like that. They're gonna have the videos out there for you, so you get to
Right.
see it. So yeah, you definitely get the influence, and it can kind of help, like, say you don't have like somebody immediately around you, it can act as like a comfort or like some type of companion. So you could be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm gonna just do this at home or whatever, because I've seen those type of videos out there. um Really, the biggest thing that I could think of is just like the influence of it. Like it's a lot of resources, I say very loosely, out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the cons that I don't really like about social media is that there is no like actual instructions on what to do. So it's
Right.
like, oh well, increase your protein and eat like 2 things of oatmeal and a whole bunch of
Mm-hmm.
chicken and some salad. But it's like that's like a one size fit for you, but it's not a one size fit for all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that is the thing that I don't necessarily like, is like it's still misinformation. It's half information. You're just showing people what you do, but it don't work for everybody just like that.
And I think there's a lot of like misconceptions about how the body can look like.
Right.
How you
Right.
can make your body look without like any extra help from
Right.
anybody and things like that. So I think it kind of like messes people's minds up about what
Right.
a body looks like naturally. What
Right.
are some like positive or some healthy foods, some nutrients people can use or keep
So
up?
I would say, me personally, I'm not a nuts type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Almonds, all of that, I don't do that. But I do love peanut butter. I do love peanut butter,
Oh,
so I have to get it in some way. You don't like peanut
no,
butter?
I love pistachios. I could eat some pistachios.
No, no, no. Any type of nuts, I'm out of there. Like I can't. No walnuts, almonds, none of that.
So you don't do trail
But
mix at all.
nope, trail mixes are no.
Okay. Okay.
But I would definitely say almonds, eggs if you could tolerate dairy, definitely good for your brain health. Any type of like fish, any
Mm-hmm.
type of fish is pretty good for you. I know black people, we love salmon. We love some
They
salmon.
do.
So if
We
you ain't
do.
putting too
I don't
much
like
butter
it
and all
though.
of that in there, then it's still good for you. But any type of fish, yeah, those are like the first things that kind of come to mind. Really, anything that's like whole food that doesn't have like a lot of sugar or like oil contents in it, it
Mm-hmm.
should be pretty good for you.
This may sound like a dumb question, but I still want to ask. If there's somebody who is in their workout journey, right? I ain't saying they deep in the journey or nothing like that, but
Mhm.
they trying to get fit and they can't let go of their fast food. What is
What
that
to
doing to
do?
their body?
You feeding your body poison. I'm
Mm,
sorry, you are. You are. It don't matter what it. Okay, listen. I I have recently, like, I have gotten so far away from fast food, to be
mhm.
honest, that now, like, I recently had went out of town and I had Taco Bell. It could have been that Taco. It could have been Taco Bell,
It's Taco
but
Bell, period. I ain't
I
gonna lie to you.
literally got sick. Like
Yep.
literally got sick. So it's especially with everything that's going on with a lot of the pullback of the food regulations that we have here in
Hmm.
the United States. Um,
Tell me.
yeah, fast food is very convenient. So I don't knock people get it, like, because you have to. Like, it's very expensive to go out and buy groceries, and a lot of the groceries, the fresh produce and stuff that we're buying doesn't last. So I
Nope.
do not blame people for going to Chick-fil-A or going to Wendy's, getting them a $5 biggie bag,
Hmm.
because I have definitely done that. But I would definitely say if you could cut it down as much as you can, like, do so every here and there. Like, moderation is fine, but you like 4 out of 7 days out of the week,
Yeah.
we might gotta work on that. You know what I'm saying?
Tone that down. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like people say, "Oh, it's cheaper to eat at home." I'm not gonna lie. It's really even these days. Like the inflation is so crazy that it's about the same.
Yes,
But I still prefer to eat at home just because honestly, eating fast food now, I feel like it kind of makes me a little sick sometimes too.
it
Especially
does.
Taco Bell though. Girl, I ain't
I
eat
don't
Taco
even
Bell
eat
in
Taco
years.
Bell. I don't even eat Taco Bell. I was just like, I would just grab something because everybody else was getting something, girl.
Mhm.
No, I was
I
the
would
first one.
advise you against.
I was
I
the
haven't been
first
to
one
Taco Bell since
sick.
I worked there in 2020, and I know better. I said, "Ooh." Taco Bell, Wendy's. Like I'm slowly Taco Bell, Wendy's. I haven't
Hmm.
McDonald's, Burger King, none of that.
It just doesn't even feel good anymore. But a suggestion for people out there, if you have a roommate or you're a couple or a household or whatever, this is not paid ad, but HelloFresh, we have done HelloFresh for like the past few months and
Yeah,
I
I
love
saw.
it. Like I love it. Like you could really pick what meal you want and you get to like expand your palate. So it's stuff that you don't really like. It's like basic foods, but they switch it up and change it up so much. It's like you don't feel like you're eating the same stuff all the time.
But how does that work? Do they send you
Yes,
all of
they
it?
say. Yeah, you can get between like 3 to maybe like 7 meals a week, and it's really affordable because groceries is very expensive. So
Yeah.
you and whoever y'all can pay for, because I think they start at a minimum of 2 people, but you can pay for it. You pay for it every week. You can pause it if you need to per weekly, but you just pick your meals for a week, and then they have a delivery date, and then they send it out every single week. They send you the. Oh, that's so cool.
Right. I didn't even, I
But
didn't even
they
know I
send
could
you
do that.
like all the ingredients, the instructions and everything, and you also get like a little free add-on or something. So you get like a little dessert or
Yeah,
something.
I was
So
gonna say,
yeah.
okay, I like that. I haven't seen you post it. And I was gonna ask you. I'm like, what is this? Because that chicken had looked real good. It
Yes.
had looked real, real good. And you do cook it yourself, right? They ain't
You
giving
do
you
cook
no
it yourself, so
good.
you
I
don't even
don't
have
need
to
that.
go to the grocery store.
Right. I like that. You already got everything in the pantry. Make sure you got your seasonings and stuff. Like
Yes.
it's good. So you can't say it's nasty because you cooking it.
You cooking it yourself.
Do you think that there's a difference between self-worth and self-esteem?
Yes, I do. So self-worth is more so attributed to a value. If
Mm-hmm.
you think about money, like how much are you worth in a way, like self-worth. And your self-esteem is a little bit more towards your feelings. So how do
Mm-hmm.
you feel about yourself? So they're not interchangeable, but they're used a lot of times, like very switched out
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about this self-love and components of it. Um but I'm trying to think of how I can break this down. So my self-worth is my internal worth. Like how what do I think I deserve out of life? What do I think about myself? Like what is the highest aspirations that I have for myself? What is the highest form of myself that I see? Like what is my true internal worth? And then
Mm-hmm.
my self-esteem is a little bit different because it's how do I feel? Like the more like ooey gooey, like the
Mm-hmm.
the the things that cause our anxiety, the things that cause our depression, the self-doubt, like all of these things. So it's a little bit different. They are very similar in a way,
Right.
but the self-worth and the self-esteem is just that feeling versus that solid value is the dividing factor.
So do you attach your self-worth to your physical appearance or only your self-esteem?
uh, I think, oh, you do both. I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody does both,
I think so too.
especially in society. I'm gonna talk about myself. So I feel like I don't ever really think that I looked at my physical body and was like, oh, I'm only worth so much.
Right.
But my self-esteem might have been a little bit different. Or like, for example, like I'm getting a little older, I'm gaining a little bit of weight. Everybody say I look good, but it's just
Real good. Real good.
it's a real mental thing from going from being like slim for so long, and it's like overnight almost, or like over a time span. It's like you gain weight, you start to get that grown woman-ish body,
Mm-hmm.
and you still see yourself in a certain type of way, and it's like, oh my god, I can't fit my clothes like this, or I look a
Mm-hmm.
certain type of way, or this is giving me a certain type of attention that I'm not necessarily like used to. It makes me uncomfortable. So it's like it really does mess with like how you feel, like, oh my gosh, like you become a little bit more, self-conscious and stuff like
Yep.
that. So I really think it does, especially with this like skyrocket of, I love everybody, I hope everybody loves themselves, but these cosmetic surgeries and stuff, we need to have these hard conversations.
We do.
And that's where it starts with the self-worth and the self-esteem.
It's I like that you mentioned the grown woman body because a little side note, y'all. If you know me, you know I've been the same size all my life. I can still fit my like high school jeans, probably like eighth grade jeans. Like, it's bad. To me, it's embarrassing. People think it's cute and funny. I don't think so.
It,
Like, sometimes I'll be at work and I have coworkers and they're like, oh, like, for instance, y'all, just a little, I'm sorry, I'm getting off. But like, if
no.
I wear my natural hair out,
Hmm.
let's say I wear my natural hair out and I have on my work clothes or whatever, they'll literally tell me, oh, you look like a little girl, you look like a child. And I just want people to know, like, that's not a compliment.
It's
I
not.
don't like that. It doesn't make people feel good.
It doesn't.
I don't choose to, like, look like this. Obviously, I
Right.
know I can do something about it and I have been trying to, but like, people don't understand genetics play a part, and just like you
It
said, time
does.
management and everything. So I am trying to get better, but when you talk about grown women bodies, I just want people to know it's not always about just being the curviest and all that.
You
Cause
need to. People just need to stop commenting on women's body. Period.
yeah.
Because regard like it's like when even when we were younger and like I was younger, I was a little bit slimmer. Like people still had comments and stuff to say, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then it's like when you get older and you do gain weight, people still got
Still
something to
got
say.
something
You
to
know what
say.
I'm saying?
Like,
And it's just like, oh my gosh, like not even that part bothers you, but it's just like it makes you pay attention to yourself in a way that you probably wasn't. Like I'm probably thinking like, oh, like da 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 da, and oh, well, you might need to, wear something that's a little bit more flattering or something that's
like,
a little less tight or something.
ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just,
Hmm.
uh, I
I
just,
get that all the time,
ooh,
like putting clothes on, or you see it on somebody else and you buy it, you put some clothes on, you like so disappointed with how it looked. Like, that happens all
right.
the time to me,
And
like
I think
all
for
the time.
me, it's because I'm not that tall. So I feel like I'm
Yep.
getting to the point where now I'm like scared that I'm going to look really compacted. And I think that's something that I'm trying to, work on.
It never gave that life. I'm not gonna lie. It never
I'm
gave
just saying.
compact.
I'm just saying. I want to say I be seeing people, but I just be like, this is a fear of mine in my head.
Yeah.
Like I cannot. We just gonna, whoop, 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 we just gonna get it back down. But
And it's
y'all gonna
important,
see.
like, how you feel. Because a lot of people, they're like, well, oh, I don't think you look like that. You need to stop thinking that. But it's about how that person thinks, Don't
Right.
be.
I don't think people like prepare you for it. People that are slimmer, because I feel like like I still have people in my life that like, oh my gosh, Wanda, like if I could just trade body shape, I'm like, have it, have it,
Right.
have it, have it, have it. I promise you, it's gonna be such like a mind twister that it's just like, what is really going on, or it's gonna give you attention that you don't necessarily want, and
Mhm.
it's just like, eh,
Now you
not too
gotta
much. I
learn how
just
to
want to
live
walk
with
in the
you.
store. I just want to, what I'm saying. I don't want to be harassed.
Yep.
I
And
don't.
on a serious note, though, people do be harassing folks. Like, literally, I can't walk nowhere without, hey, hey, hey. Like,
You
don't
need
do that.
to.
That's rude. That's, first of all, that's rude. Nobody wants to talk to you. You A-ing them down.
Who
Like,
talks? Who is A?
like, that's not my name, so please, please have some decorum. We don't like
Exactly.
that at
Exactly.
all. What are some signs that somebody has an unhealthy self-image of themselves?
The first thing that comes to mind is when someone is really critical, and it doesn't even have to be of like other people's body. It can be of somebody's clothes or their hair, or somebody makes like a tedious mistake, like, or maybe they tripped up or something like that.
Hmm.
Somebody that's just very like very very critical, or like very very negative, like with their comments, that is
Hmm.
like a clear indicator that they have a lot of like negative self-talk, and they're very critical. And that could have been from a parent, or you just like, when I see that, I don't really take offense to it, because I know where that person coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's not necessarily something that they're doing on purpose. It's just something that's been put inside of them to do.
It's
So
good that you're strong and you're wise enough and you're aware enough to realize that, because a lot of people aren't, and they might take it personal if you don't
right.
realize it. But I've realized that people that who are constantly talking bad about people, it's something
Hmm.
within yourself you don't like.
Right.
And it's like, that's okay, but don't put that on somebody else. You need
Right,
to.
because you can't control how they're gonna respond to that.
Exactly.
So they can understand, but they're gonna tell you to settle on
Because don't be
down.
mad when you get that person who don't, is not very because
Exactly.
everybody not understanding to your
Right.
situation. Everybody's not empathetic to your situation, and
Right.
everything's not about you. Like, everything's not about me. I'm
Exactly.
trying to tell people that, like, it's not all about you. We're just like one little person in this big behind world.
Big world.
So, it's just take into consideration how other people are feeling in those
Right.
given moments. You just never
Right.
know.
Right.
Never. But how do you feel like social media has altered people's perceptions? Like, for instance, not even just for women, for men too, because I've been seeing
Right.
like fake hairlines and I didn't even know that
Girl,
was the thing.
I seen some man was straight up bald. They put some type of wig on him, glued the thing down, put
Ooh,
curly products,
let me find
do
out.
rag, conditioner, whatever. He walked out there with some waves. I said, "Oh,
Ooh,
well, this
this
is real."
too. Hey, they getting creative. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they're definitely getting creative. I think social media has negatively warped us so much to the point where, and it kind of does go into, like our topic today. But it's just like for me, I started my health and fitness like career with older adults. So I was around
Mhm.
geriatrics for probably like 3 years before I started to migrate into a different, demographic. And just seeing them, it's just like it opened my eyes so much because I would be with them and then I would go back into society, our generation. People don't want to age. People don't want to go through the normal things of
That's
life. Like
facts.
I don't understand it. Like it's I understand getting facials and all that stuff, but we're
Hmm.
doing Botox. We're men. We are replace. I can understand. You don't want to be bald, but baby, if it was in your bloodline, your
It was in your
granddaddy, the
cards.
uncle, it's okay to be bald. Even if you don't got a beard, some men bring it back to the old days. They be bald
Hmm.
head with the big old
Hmm.
beards. You know what I'm saying? That might be cute for somebody,
Right.
but I don't know. You gotta find a woman that's gonna love where you take that cap off at the
Mhm.
night, you be bald, and then wake up in the morning, gotta put it on. So, but that's interchangeable for men and women. I
And
just
yeah,
wish that everybody would love themselves. I feel like we talk about a lot of self love, but it's like self love in comparison to what's the norm.
hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
I hate
So
that because it's almost like, are you even really doing it for yourself, or are you doing it because you saw it?
no,
You know what I'm saying?
99% of the time, I can almost bet and say 100% of the time, there are selective situations. I've seen it a lot with women that have had pregnancies or or people that have undergone like cancers and those are separate situations.
Hmm.
But you're just doing it because you seen somebody walk into your office with a big butt or a slim waist or you seen your partner with a full head of hair. No,
Hmm. I
no,
think it's a mental thing because I want everybody who's listening to this. I don't want y'all to feel like we're shaming anybody who does anything because that's
right,
not like the move. But all I'm saying is, if you are going to do it, I would hope that you are secure with yourself first. Like,
right.
don't do it because you're trying to change yourself to be better. And then to think about it like this: if you couldn't do it, would you still be happy with yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's
Would
not
would there
even.
still be some type of inclination inside of you that's like I don't feel whole with myself if I look a certain type of way or I always tell people you need to be so secure in yourself you could lose your arms and legs, God forbid, today, and you would still
Still
feel,
be.
as confident as you were because you got to look around. It's people that actually have to deal with that. They don't have an ear, they don't have,
Mhm.
half of their leg and stuff like that, and they still get up and they still go on.
Move
And
every
yeah, they
day.
might feel subconscious about it or whatever, but they move past that because it's not about the physical at all. It's not about the physical, and I feel like once our generation, if we can master this, then we can set it up for the
The
younger
next future,
generations.
yeah.
Yes, because they are looking at us and it is getting
They
crazy.
are. They're watching us. They watch every little thing that we do. Even if we don't think they're watching, our little
They are
cousins and sisters
watching.
and nieces and everything, they looking at us. They are definitely watching and they want to know what's going on.
Right. So I feel like if more people would just be comfortable with themselves, that's the
Hmm.
whole theme. If they're just more comfortable with themselves, like sit in a room by yourself, take a day, sit in a room by yourself, go look in the mirror.
Right.
Do you feel like you look good?
Look, and some people can't even look in the mirror. And that's so sad. Like, it makes me so sad that some people don't feel worthy or beautiful enough to really just look at
Right.
themselves. That's a deep thing. That's why I feel like anybody who wants to go into any type of physical change or anything like that should seek counseling first. I feel like
They
that should
should
be
see it's
mandatory.
100%.
I think that should be
100%.
mandatory before we're out here just because you can mess around and get a surgery and whatever it was that you were trying to do, and then you're still not happy. And now you're
Right.
going to get more and more and more because
And
you're
more
never
and more and more.
satisfied.
And so many people I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and like things to people that's like undergone these surgeries, mainly because I'm more like interested in the procedure, the process of these things.
Hmm.
But it's just like they still don't end up happy, or they're doing it for a relationship, or they're
Oh,
doing it for whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, you look
you
good.
look great.
Everybody just needs to understand that we were all, whether they believe in God or not, everybody was created uniquely yourself.
Hmm.
once you get that down, you're not gonna look like your neighbor. You're not gonna look like your best
Exactly.
friend. You're not even gonna look like your mama. You know,
Or
God
you
knows I
know,
don't want to look like my mama because my mama got too much butt for me. So
that's twins. That's twins. Stop playing.
she got too much for me. So like
And I think
so
it's beautiful that no one person is the same. Once we really start, like
exactly.
you said, just taking that in and really just accepting that and holding that to a high standard, that being unique is cool. Like being unique is that. You don't have to go look
Yes.
like everybody. Like you don't want to go on social media and or anywhere and somebody scrolling and looking, they're like, dang, that's oh wait, no, that's not her. Cause you got the same face or like they say, or the same, like
Same,
you
same
don't
everything. Same
that
everything.
ain't it's not it. So, can you remember any pivotal moments in your life that shifted how you thought about yourself?
Oh yeah. I feel like I want to say it was like 2020, like
Mm,
COVID. That's when I noticed it. I started gaining weight, and I wouldn't really notice it like looking in the mirror because you never really notice anything like or any changes like even when you're going on your fitness journey. A lot of
mm,
people feel like, oh, like I need to have these instant results.
right.
You're probably not going to start seeing something until 6 months for real,
Right. And
like
that's so
actual
long.
definite, yes, actual definite like changes for real of consistent 6 months. But I feel like it was in 2020. I think I seen a picture of myself and I posted on my spam. I was like, oh my god,
Like, who is this?
like, am I fat or what? Like, what is going on here? Like, this is just not the move. But it's just like I wasn't used to like having any type of boobs. I wasn't used to
Mm-hmm.
having like a butt or nothing. So I'm just like, oh my god, like this
And
is
it
just
just
crazy.
came.
Like I just cannot deal with this. And so I feel like for me, the biggest struggle that I had is like figuring out what clothes to wear.
Yes.
Like that was definitely a thing because it's like this is how I express myself. This is how this is how I set myself up to be presented to the world. So if I'm unclear, if I'm unsure with this, like I feel like I look very confused or I look like very chaotic, which I probably
Mm-hmm.
didn't, or I don't even say probably. I know I didn't, but it's just like this is just this transitional period. And I want to say maybe last year was like the first year I started to feel like comfortable in my own skin,
Okay.
like feeling like, okay, like girl, it ain't going nowhere. So you just gotta
Mhm.
get over it. You just
Well,
gotta get over it.
it took some time, but it happened. You felt secure. That's good.
Yes.
That's inspiring to know. Like even though things are gonna change, you may not feel like
Yes.
but eventually, Cause
Right.
girl, I'm trying. I ain't gonna lie. I get so discouraged. Like just like you said, it takes 6 months. Like I probably would say the most consistent I've been in the gym was probably like 2 months straight. And then I was like, I ain't doing this no more.
Right.
But I
It's
should have
because
kept going.
it takes so many other things like outside of just going to the gym. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to find a formula that's gonna work for you. Like I said, like a lot of people say, oh, protein is protein, blah blah blah.
Right.
It's like if you really want to, you have to study yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
what is your sleeping habits? What is your water intake? What type of foods are you eating? Because that diet, that's like 80%. That's eighty
Right.
percent. Everybody
And
say go to the gym. Your diet is going to be the most consistent thing that you can focus on, that's your body, because you're
mm-hmm.
feeding your body. The gym, you just kind of shifting it around, changing it around a little bit, like you adding something here or there and you taking something
Strengthening and
away.
all that. Yeah.
But food, you gotta do that every single day,
And I
every
think
single day.
that's probably why I'm not getting no bigger. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's like I be telling first of all, I don't be that hungry. Let's start there. I literally don't be that
Mm-hmm.
hungry. So it got to a point where I don't want to say forcing, but I really was forcing. I tried to force myself to eat.
Right.
And it was like, excuse me, it was like 3 times a day. I did that thing like once or twice. I literally felt sick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was too much food. So I was talking to one of my
Right.
friends about it. And he's really, excuse me, he's really big on fitness and stuff. He was telling me like just work up to it. Like if you just
Yeah.
eat, yeah, just try to eat like a little snack here and there instead of it
Right.
being a full meal. Cause I was going crazy. Like I
Yeah.
had like 3 meals. I had the protein shakes. I was just trying to, but don't do that. Like don't do that. Don't try to put it
Yeah.
on so fast that it's
Right.
unhealthy. I don't do that. That was me. I was really in a desperate state, I would say. And it wasn't for nobody else. It really was for me.
Right.
I didn't feel this is something I want to tell y'all. I didn't feel like a woman enough. Like I
Right.
felt like literally like a little girl. And then when
Yeah.
people start saying it to me, I'm like, wait a
It's
minute.
just too much, yeah. And
So,
also, I want to like on the flip side of that is if you're trying to lose weight, don't think, okay, I need to subtract food, because that's what a lot of people
yep,
think. They think I'm just gonna stop eating. And it's like, no, like the actuality of it, the science of your body is it's gonna start to pull away at that fat, but you're gonna be losing skeletal,
Oof.
you're going to be losing muscle mass, like you're going to lose like so many things inside your body that you need, that
Hmm.
you might see that number on the scale dropping down, but you're
But
not
not that
losing that
health.
fat. Yeah, fat is the almost the last resort for your body, like when you're not eating, when you're not doing like the proper thing. So it's like you have to properly just be selective with your diet. That's all I can say.
Hmm.
Be selective. If you are gonna, cut back, and people say, "Oh, don't eat carbs, don't eat this, don't eat that." The only thing I'll say you could like truly cut out is sugar.
Sugar, I was
But
gonna say that.
carbs, you need carbs because you need energy.
Hmm.
And I had one lady, she was working on being a bodybuilder. She went from 150. This lady dropped down to one. She's currently 110 right now, and she should be coming back soon because she just did her competition, and it's in a span of like maybe 3 months. She lost
Wow.
that much weight, but that's because she was drinking like 3 liters of water, and she had cut out so much
She
food
was
that
being very
she was just on
intentional.
green. She was just eating like greens and maybe some proteins, and that was pretty much, well, just proteins and greens, because she's trying to do a bodybuilding competition,
Hmm.
which naturally that is not healthy for you, but it's
Hmm.
just like, I don't know, I see that so much, and people just don't understand the importance of food. Like, this is your energy, but it's like by the last time I saw her, she was so drained because she had no energy. Because your carbs, that's your energy, that's where you're getting your energy from. You get energy from other foods, but you need that consistent energy from carbs. Now there are better carbs than others, but you know what I'm saying, you still need that, you still need food. So
That's big because a lot of people they will just start fasting and starving themselves, and that just doesn't do it. That just doesn't. Just how starving yourself. Just how I said, just trying to eat too much. It doesn't. You
yeah.
got to have that happy medium. You got to be intentional,
Yeah.
like that lady was, about
Yeah.
what you want to do. I think
Right. And
having
her
a clear
situation
goal in
is
mind.
particular. Like, now, once she finishes this meet, she wants to do another one next year. So she's gonna get back into, okay, let me like amp it up a little bit, since she's
Hmm.
already cut down enough of the fat that she wanted. But now she's gonna go back into building. And some people do that, cutting and bulking.
Hmm.
But yeah, just be smart.
Well,
Your
that's
your
her
bodies are the
career.
temples. I don't think
Yes,
people realize that. Your body is your temple.
your body is so very important. Is what we put into it, how we view it, how we speak about it is just
Right.
important. So think about Lil Wylonda, or a little girl that's in class right now. Looks like Lil Wylonda. What would you tell her if she's feeling negative about herself, if she just feels ugly in her own skin?
What would I tell her? Um, I would tell her that she needs to self-reflect. She needs to take time to herself, like no friends, no family. Like, you really just have to do that deep dive into yourself. Like,
Hmm.
key point, like, what is it that's making me feel some type of way? Is it how I look? Is it how I talk? Is it the way I'm presenting myself? Is
Hmm.
it something mental that's going on with me? Like, what, like finding that key point, and then, figuring out, okay, how can we counteract this? Like, what can we do to make this situation a little bit better? Because a lot of times I feel like, even as adults, like, we get into that space where we are negative, or we do feel like some type of way, or life is just life, and it's just like
Right.
everything, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you. You're never gonna be ready. You're
Mm,
never gonna be ready. So it's
never.
like,
You cannot prepare for this.
yeah, I feel like just taking time to yourself, and truly, like, I feel like that's something that I've learned, like, in the past, like, couple years, is really just taking time to yourself, and you're going to continue to relearn yourself, because we're continuously
Hmm.
growing and continuously transforming. So I feel like people that, like, if I had to tell myself, like, it would be in like middle school and then going into high school, because that's like the biggest transition. And then when you go to college, it's a little bit easier, but it's like you go through so many. Like, your freshman year of college, your sophomore year, your junior
Hmm.
year, your senior year, you like 4 different people, and probably 8, 12 different people in that
Yep.
time period. So it's just, you always got to come back to self. Like, you always have to, this is your ground. Like I said earlier, this is
Hmm.
your temple. So you have to be able to come back to yourself and hone it in, figure out what's going on, assess the situation. Just like you would if your friend came to you and said, "Oh, I'm not feeling good," or "I'm not feeling like myself," you would, okay, let's
Find out
find
what's
out the
going on.
problem,
Hmm.
and you would deal with it just like that. So you just have to treat yourself in the same manner that you would the people you
Hmm.
care about.
That's so big. Why treat yourself like? For real though, like, give yourself the advice you would give your best friend.
Right.
Treat
Because
yourself like
oftentimes we
that.
treat people better than we treat ourselves a lot of the
Way
time. So
too
it's like
often. Way too often.
I'm a victim of that. But it's just
Me
like
too.
you have to realize that those people, like, you have to take your own advice. You have to take your own
Hmm.
advice. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, if I'm able to give it out, why can't I take it? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. And one of the things I want to mention, like being in the middle school to the high school transition versus the high school to college transition, the hardest thing about the middle school one is probably the fact that we're still with our parents. And that's not to throw no throw no
Yes.
shots or nothing like that, but it's really hard to grow when you're
It's hard
around
to
people
grow
that you
with your
feel like.
parents. It's
Mhm.
so hard to grow because it's hard to grow with family, period. And I always tell people, move away from your hometown. If you go back, you go back. But move away because you're able to meet people that don't know you. So you're able
Mhm.
to really live out yourself. You don't have to your mama think of you as little Susie, whoever, whatever your name is.
Mhm.
She think of you as that. Your daddy or your grandma, your granddaddy, they think you as sweet little baby. And it's like
Mhm.
they can only, even as a grown adult, they still see you in that
Exactly.
capacity. Like they don't see you outside of that. And that's because they've known you their whole life. What are they supposed to know you as? Like now
Mhm.
you're 23, 24, 30 years old and you think they're supposed to see you as something different? No, they can't.
Right. Right.
So it's like they can respect you as such, but when you branch out, you give yourself that opportunity to, okay, yeah, this how I'm gonna present myself to the world. Like this is who I am.
Very unapologetically, all that. I
Yourself.
I really feel like I don't know why people aren't more accepting of growth. I think it's kind of strange. Like if you're still in the same place and they're like, "Oh, you didn't used to act like that." And I'm like, "Well, I hope not."
I
Like
hope not.
we're growing, we're trying to get better. It's almost like people who know you or think they know you, they want you to stay
Mhm.
the same way. And if not,
Right.
you're labeled as fake and phony. That is
Right.
really weird to me, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
Because people don't like, but it's kind of like when you see somebody that is very critical or like
Hmm.
negative, it's because they're not growing in themselves. But
Yep.
when you see somebody that has changed or that's fake or whatever case may be, because they're different than what you knew them as, it's because they went through the uncomfortable part of
Hmm.
growing.
Of
You
the
know what I'm
growth,
saying? Growing is not always, I done got me a new car. I done
the
got me a new
aesthetically
house.
pleasing
It's
stuff.
not the stuff
Yeah.
that people see. It's the crying. It's the long nights. It's the God, like, what is going
Hmm.
on? I don't
Spiritual
understand.
journey, just
It's not even finances. It's not even relationships. It's just stuff within yourself. Like, you battling your old self with your new self. Like, I have those talks to my therapist every single month. Like, it's a constant, this is how I want to react to a situation, but this is
just
how the
how
new me,
right.
this how the new me gonna show up. We ain't showing up how we was in the past. We gotta
No, for
show up.
real.
I gotta show up
Grieving
for
your
myself.
old
I gotta
self
show
is
up as a,
real.
yes, and
It's
it's a
real.
grieving process that you have
Hmm.
to go through because that was comfortable to me. Me going off on you, that was
That
comfort to
it
me.
was
You know what I'm
easy.
saying? That
It
was
was
the
easy
easy
to do that
part.
because why who you playing with?
I'm gonna let
But
you have it. God bless,
mm,
and I better not see you on the way out. You know what I'm saying? But I wish you the best. You know what I'm saying?
for
But
real.
it's people don't see that. You know, people don't see the actual hard work that it goes to when you grow. They just see all the luxuries of growth or
Mhm.
wow, like that person did change. Like they're not the same person. Yeah, of course. Of
People don't
course.
understand how self-control is big. Like people will play with you in your face all day, every day, but you're still
If
gonna
they
be
could.
expected to be the good guy. Like always. So if
That's
that
my
was
biggest thing. I would be the villain. I would be the bad guy. I would be the bad guy in anybody book. But I had to learn. I'm not gonna let nobody compromise my peace. Like I feel
exactly.
like, when I was younger, I would compromise my own mental health or I would compromise my own sense of self worth because I wanted. I was worried about people abandoning me. I was worried
Mhm.
about what people was gonna think. Like, am I a true friend to them? Am I this? Am
Right.
I that? Child, fuck all that. I don't know if
Yeah,
we have
for real.
person on this platform,
Yeah,
but
you good. For real
fuck
though.
all that. That's all I can tell you. Let it, like, you have to be yourself, and how you show up, people are gonna love you for your true self. And if you are growing, some people gonna fall to the wayside. That's
Exactly.
normal.
Some people honestly, truly, some people are gonna have to go.
Yeah, because they're used
Just,
to seeing you just like your mama, just like your daddy. You're gonna outgrow them. So you have
mm-hmm,
to, in order for you to not hinder your own growth and miss your mark, that's the number one thing. You
mm-hmm.
cannot miss your mark. If God got something for you or whatever you believe in, got something for you over here, you can't be worried about what
I
your
was on
friend
over
think
here.
right here, because you're gonna miss up here.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah.
do you are you really gonna compromise your blessings for what they think? Like who? Not being disrespectful to your family, your friends, or nothing, but who the hell are
Right.
they?
Who are they?
In comparison to your growth and your life and the best part of you, you got to put yourself first. And people are
Mhm.
scared to be selfish and all that. I say you got to be selfish sometimes.
Yeah, no, you really have to, and it somebody that's really for you, or that somebody that really loves you and sees the value in you. I didn't had people that have grown and have done things that I wasn't able to do at that time. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
Mm-hmm.
when you are focused on yourself, when you don't compare yourself to what other people got going on, so
Yes.
you're not going to be worried about it because your time is going to come. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Your time is going to come, and you might get a bigger blessing than what they even had. So you applaud people and you allow them to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what all it took. We never really
Right.
know the demons that people got going
Exactly.
on. So you don't know what it may have taken for somebody to get this one blessing. So why are you comparing their one blessing because you don't have that blessing yet? You still got some type of blessing. You
Mm-hmm.
better appreciate, better
For real.
recognize
And you better
that.
appreciate the blessings that you already had got. Man,
Right.
comparison is one of the biggest thieves of joy. I be telling people
Is it
don't be comparing yourself to the next person because honestly, that person's probably comparing themselves to somebody else
to
too.
somebody
You
else and
know, so
somebody else? And
everybody,
it's
it's a
right.
cycle. It's literally a cycle. So we all just need to be more secure within ourselves, or we all just gonna keep
That's why
envying
you go.
somebody.
I'm telling you, go whatever you need to do. Like if you need to make a Venn diagram, if you need to get a sheet of paper, if you need to
Mm-hmm.
have a real conversation with, somebody that you trust, whatever you need to do, or maybe you need to record a video or something on your phone. People are afraid of the hard conversations. That's why growth
Mm-hmm.
isn't had. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? A lot of
Hello.
stuff can be happening once you have that conversation, and a lot of times it's with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Once you had that conversation with yourself, you have a better understanding of yourself. And it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, I know I am a little insecure, or I know I am a little jealous, or I know I am this, or I know I am that, or this is my shortcoming. Maybe I am a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Mm-hmm.
don't got what such and such blessing is. You might be thinking, oh, they got it because they mama and they daddy did this, or da da
Right.
da da
Like,
da. Well, in actuality, you're really lazy. You done called
yeah.
out of work 3 out of four of those shifts. What are you talking about?
And you lazy and now you a hater. So that's not good.
It's just like
Like
you gotta have those conversations with yourself,
you
and
can't
then
be
you'll
both.
be able to, work on that self worth. You'll be able to build up that self esteem. But yeah, I think people are just scared of judgment. They judge
Hmm.
themselves, and they feel like people are judging them. That's their perception.
It's crazy you say that because I always advocate for having the hard conversations. That's literally what I say. I'm like, we gotta have the uncomfortable conversations, the conversations we may not
Yeah,
want to have but need to have. But you brought up a great point. Those conversations are with ourselves too. And I that
yes.
you really,
You
really for
can't be
real.
quick to check somebody, and you can't check yourself. You know what
Seriously
I'm
though.
saying?
People be like, oh, talking to yourself is crazy, baby. I talk to myself. Maybe
You
you
better
don't need
talk
to
to
answer
somebody.
yourself all the time, but I talk to myself.
You better
Talk to
talk to
myself.
somebody.
You got to talk yourself down. You have to really, sometimes you have to say it out loud to really hear it. Like,
Right.
is that really how what I meant to say? Is that how I meant to come off?
Right.
Because sometimes it's all about perception.
And sometimes you have to talk to people I like even with me going into therapy, like I had like a little bit of pushback, from my family because it's like, what you need therapy for?
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not doing this for nobody. I'm doing this for myself because it's like everybody experiences trauma in different ways, and it's like it's certain things that I want to work on. I don't know what I need, even if I don't know what I need to work on. I just want to talk to somebody. I want to be able to see. But I'm going back, I'm having those hard conversations with myself. I'm like, I don't like the way I cope with things. I don't like the
Hmm.
way I have anxiety. I don't like the way that, I'm ready to go off if somebody gonna take it
Right.
there with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that person. I don't want to show up in that way.
And so
So
the growth, y'all, like she said, I know how
yes.
it's the growth. It's the growth. It's the growth. I love it. A lot of people think there has to be something wrong to go to therapy, or you have to be trying to fit. You literally, truly could just be wanting to go talk to somebody. A lot of people feel
Sometimes you just want to talk.
alone.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think God isolated me for a reason. Like he gave me blessings, but he also isolated me in a period. And it's like I used to be like, what is
Yeah,
going
like
on?
I'm
Like
a.
I don't understand. Like I'm such a good person. Like why do I have to be by myself? Like
Mhm,
not that I was uncomfortable with solitude, but it's just like I love people. You know what I'm saying? I
mhm.
love my people. Like I just
And
I
we
don't
need human
know.
interaction. Like I don't know, everybody wants to be so
Yes.
hard and like not too much. Like just be
No.
yourself. Just be
Like if it
yourself.
was up to me, I have all my loved ones same. We on the same block. Like
Hmm.
that's just how I am. But it's just I don't know. Like I feel like he put me in isolation period, and he said, "Okay, this is what you need to do," and I did it, and I've been doing it for like the past maybe 3 years, two
And
years
then just
maybe,
getting
and
better
it's
every time.
beautiful. Like it's when situations, because like we said earlier, life is going to continue to life. You're going to continue to get situations, but you show up in a different way. You get the
Mhm,
same scenario all throughout life. You're going to get the same
mhm,
problems. It's probably going to come in different. I'm asking for patience. I want this, I want that. I want to work on my temper, certain
mhm.
things like that. So I'm going to get stuff that's going to piss me off.
And you got to
I'm going to
figure out
get
how to
stuff
work through it.
that's going to make me want to lose my patience. I'm going to get
Hmm.
stuff that I have anxiety around trusting people or trusting things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but now, I feel you feel better. You just feel like, okay, like I know how I would handle this, but
Yeah.
now I'm not.
Just feel lighter, just not
Yeah.
so tense and just so worried about things. I don't know. I used to just get so worked up about nothing. You get so worked up about stuff you can't even
Nothing.
change. You can't
Yeah.
even
Stuff
change
that
it.
you cannot change.
So
Yeah.
we talked about self-worth, we talked about self-esteem and self-image. I want to touch on self-love a little bit. I feel
Okay.
like you said, people interchange these words a lot, but they don't all mean the same thing.
Right.
And I just want to know, how do you practice self-love for yourself? What does that mean for you?
Um, I think self love for me is learning how to say no.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And that could be no to myself. That could be no to other people. That could be no to situations. That could be no to feelings
mm-hmm.
or
Those boundaries, girl.
doubts. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the more so recent things, I would say probably, yeah, this was last year. I was going back and forth with my therapist. I'm like, I don't like boundaries. I don't like restrictions. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just want to be all or nothing. Like, why can't I do
Right.
that? Like,
Oh, that all or nothing
why
thinking,
can't people
girl.
just act right? Like, why can't I just have everything that I want? And it's just like, I was so restrictive on it. And now I feel like, no, like, I can have everything that I want. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I just have to put boundaries in place for myself. And I think that that was something that I did not have that when I was younger. I was definitely like, oh my God, like bright eyed, bushy tail. Like, if I love you,
Mm-hmm.
we going all in. This is like
Right.
friends, family, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I can't really say relationships too much. I was a little bit on the cautious side with that. But my
Very.
friends and my family, I definitely wrote like I was
'Cause a lot of us, we
all
love
in.
hard is what we call it. Like we love hard.
Yes.
So it's
Yes. Like a lot of my boundaries came within myself. Like again, like I feel like me, you have the same thing. Like I feel like we have perfectionism. And
we
that's something I'm
definitely
working on right now
and
is, I feel like
workaholics.
perfectionism is in every part of my life. I need to hit the mark. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like,
Hmm.
and I also want the people around me to have this as well. Like I want you to be the best. I want you to, all of the things. And it's just like, I am working on boundaries with that because this person is perfect or this situation is perfect or ideal
Hmm.
or I am doing a good job or I am,
Exactly.
doing all of the things. But it's okay if this one thing. So I'm gonna say no to this
Hmm.
feeling of
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, like you're not doing what you need to do. You're not working hard enough. You're not doing this. And that's what a lot of like my newest self love has been is saying no, like to myself, like, no, I don't have to take it there in my mind. I don't have to do
Hmm.
that. I don't have to entertain these thoughts, like, or whatever this negative thought is, like, let's just leave it there.
Some
Let's just
things
leave it
are
there.
enough. You don't we don't always have to get
Yes.
more.
Right.
I'm like, my problem is I'm definitely a workaholic, and I'm the type of person, I'll be dead tired. Say I work 6 days a week, I'll be dead tired, and they'll call me, Deja, can you work this shift? In my mind and in my body, I know I don't need to work
Hmm.
that shift, and I'll still go. It's one of those
Yeah.
type of things, like, and that'll really for real cause burnout, like
Yeah.
physical, mental, like we
I
said, it all
experienced
goes hand in
burnout
hand,
way too many times, like way
especially
too
in
many
college.
times. Yeah. Yeah.
College is for learning and growth and stuff like that, but nobody is made we're not made to sit there and be robots. Like, I'm not supposed to just go to
Right.
school, go to work, go home. Like, you're supposed to have a life,
Right.
sustain happiness. Like,
I
that's
don't
just
know
how it
how I
should
did
be.
it. Like it's times now, like it's times now where I think like, how the hell was I doing all of that?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what type of energy I was running off of. I don't know. Like it was just. I feel like I was just disassociating. I'm gonna go to school, get this done. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna get this done. Like I
Hmm.
left everything wherever it was at, and that was it. Like if I say, okay, I get a weekend to hang out with my friends, or I get a weekend to, do whatever, I'm gonna do it, and that's it.
Hmm.
Like I just had to like shut down. But now it's like I don't have to do that. Like I
Right.
can schedule my time. I can sit down and watch TV and not have my mind going like I need to do
Racing.
a
Yeah.
thousand things. So again, it's just that saying that no, nah, I'm gonna sit here and watch TV. I'm gonna
Hmm.
decompress a little bit.
Tips to develop a long lasting self love journey.
I would say be around people that truly value you. Like I
Yep.
feel like 24/7 we are under consumption. We are consumers, literally. From the time we wake up, from the time we go to sleep, whether that's other people's energy, whether that's stuff we
Hmm.
see on social media, the TV, the news, our family problems, everybody and anything. So I think being around people who really value you and that's really pours into you just like you pour into them.
Right.
I really think that is like a really key component to life because you cannot do life by yourself. Like you
Nope.
cannot do life by yourself. You just can't do it. So I think that's like the biggest thing, like being around people and taking time for yourself to fill you up because I feel like we give so much on a day-to-day basis. Like we're constantly pouring, like
Hmm.
constantly pouring. Even if you do nothing but stay home, watch TV, and just be on your phone, stuff like that. Like
That's still energy. Yes.
yeah, you're still losing your energy. So you need stuff that's gonna pour back
I
into
just
you.
have
And
two
I
more
remember.
questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, how do you feel like we can help future generations learn how to love themselves? Because, like we said, if we can just get this right, our kids and our grandkids could do
Right.
better. So, what's the first step you think we need to take as a society to help with self love?
I think number one is we need to recognize the past.
Hmm.
That is
Hello.
like we need to recognize like a lot of the societal standards that our great grandparents and our great grandparents, grandparents, and our parents went through. Able to recognize like the past, like our parents, like a lot of the stuff that our grandparents put on them. It wasn't a lot of talking. It wasn't. It was do as I say. This
Hmm.
is how things are. Like they were told a lot of times in our great grandparents, it was zero conversation.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. It was this the way of life. This what you're supposed to do. This that, and the third. So I feel like when we start having those conversations about certain things that was going on in the past and how things are supposed to be, like she got long hair down to her butt, blah blah blah, like she's
Yes.
a freak and stuff, and I be telling her or like certain stuff that I would do or wear, and she was like, I need to dress like a wife and not a side piece. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Whoa, right. That is
I'm like, what does
crazy.
that even mean? Like, is she not trying to, like, she's not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. She's not trying to
Hmm.
be disrespectful to me, but it's just like, that's how they
That's all she knows.
were. Yeah, that's all that they know. Like, if you are in a certain type of category, you're supposed to dress a certain type of way, you're supposed to walk and talk a certain type of way. If you in a corporate space, I see that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
older generations, they don't like how we dress and like conflicting dialogues because it's like our older generation is trying to tell us what to do when it's
Hmm.
like we are in a whole different
This
space.
is a
Like,
whole new world. I'm
yes,
not.
this is a whole new world. And on the flip side is we have to look for the future. We have to look at these young kids that are looking at us.
Hmm.
We are
Examples.
today's
We
world.
are the
Like
new
we are
adults.
the
Yeah.
future right now. Like the future is not in the future. The future is right now. So we have to be able to, again, we have to open up these conversations. Like, what are we doing that's productive for
Mhm.
ourselves? What are the things that's conducive for us? Like, whether that's mental, physical, spiritual, financial, like we need to have these hard conversations. And I feel like once we start talking, because I feel like we are the generation to start talking.
Yeah, we outspoken for sure.
We have broken the barrier down. Like we gonna be right at your front door with it. So it's like I feel like our generation is the most pivotal because we have the next generation is so influential. Like I look at my
Hmm.
brother like generation and they are so influenced by us. Like so influenced by us. So it's like this is the time. This is the time for
Mm-hmm.
us to break that down so we don't have to keep dealing with that. People can be comfortable with themselves. They don't have to grow up and be this or do this or whatever. They can be themselves in whatever, their dreams and aspirations or however they want to look and all these type of things. Like, just do you. It's that simple. I
I
wish
love the breakdown. The breakdown was the best because that's literally how it
I'm a
was my
very
generation.
visual like person. So I know a lot of people don't like Zodiac, but my communication is in Gemini, so I have
Yeah.
to
Oh
I talk in
Lord.
symphonies
Look,
a
oh
lot. I know.
Lord.
I know. So I can get on my little Kanye rant sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
for real though. It's,
I think if you're able to acknowledge the past and also recognize the importance that we have on the future, we'll be in
I
good
just have
shape.
one final question for you. Like,
Yes.
what is a message that you would give your younger self?
Mm, dang, I was really struggling with this.
Yes, everybody does. Feel like it's the hardest question.
I
Like,
feel
what?
like the younger me, I would just tell her to keep being unapologetically me. I think me being myself and so in every single like aspect and every single space of our life has really like gotten me to the point. It's hard because you like want to conform or you want to shift or change or like try and bring yourself down, not even bring yourself down, but you want to try and squeeze yourself into spaces that you're probably not
Mm-hmm.
even supposed to be in, you know what I'm saying? So I
Spaces you
think
could have outgrown at that.
so I think I would just tell her like to like just continue to trust the process, like, and just trust in yourself, like you know who you are. Like,
Right.
my dad probably suffers from grandiose um some type of disorder with
Mhm.
grandiose whatever, but it works to his advantage because he has the utmost confidence in himself. So I feel like his kids, like he's always talked to us, and told us like, you are great, you are great, you are great, you are great, like you are, it's only one of you. And I feel
Mhm.
like as a young person, like as a young kid, I needed to hear that because it's like all throughout my life I was able to put myself in position or like be in spaces and I didn't feel uncomfortable, like, oh, this person has this or this person acts a certain type of way. Like, I don't really need to like change myself in order to be in certain space. I'm gonna be where I want, where I'm
Exactly.
wanted, where I'm valued. And yeah, I think that's what I
Be
would tell
you.
her.
Unapologetically you.
Yes.
So is there anything you want to ask me, wife, before we
Yes,
wrap
I
up?
do. Okay,
Yes.
two questions. Okay, so the first question is like, where are you on your self love journey? Because I feel like I met you when I met you, and
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I just want to know, like, where are you currently? Like, how are you feeling?
I am so much better than I was, girlfriend. I feel like I was that person. I look in the mirror and I was not happy with what I saw. And I was
Right,
that person where everybody else was telling me, you're beautiful, you're pretty, you're pretty. And I was just so frustrated with the fact my thoughts weren't matching theirs. And
right,
I could not figure out for the life of me why I couldn't see what they were seeing.
right,
And I think the problem was I was looking for something. I wasn't taking what I was seeing. I was looking for
right,
something else. And I never was gonna be happy if I kept looking for somebody else. I really just got into it myself. Like, I don't know, being in my major and then just in school and just reading on the books, like the psychology books, and just expanding my knowledge, it really just
right.
has gotten me better, especially with the podcast. I network with so many people, so many psychologists, social workers, and people like you, everybody in their big girl jobs. It made me real like subconscious. I'm like, dang, I'm the only one not in the big girl job. But I was like, no, don't compare. Like,
No,
I love where I'm at. I love seeing where y'all are at. And
right,
it's just another way of showing people it don't have to be that way. You can still
right,
get to it a different way. So
right.
that's where I'm at, girlfriend.
Yes, I love that. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see your girl because you could see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And just even you stepping out and doing a podcast, like I feel like that
it's
is
crazy.
just so big for you. Yes, it was so big for you, but it's like you got that confidence in yourself. You got that.
Hmm.
This is Deja,
Yeah,
and
this it,
this is what I
girl.
bring to the table. Like, and I just love that because I feel like everybody should have that. It's gonna be moments in time where we're swayed or we don't really feel like ourselves, but
Hmm.
you're gonna feel like that for the rest of your life. Like, it's gonna come in
Exactly.
ways. But yes,
It's the
like,
human
you
element.
show up. This is who I am, and take it or
Yes.
leave it.
That's how I look. Take me as I am. That's all I got for you.
Just like God do, okay?
Hello,
Sure.
for real.
Okay, so my last question is like what does the podcast mean to you? Like you inspired so many people and including myself, like to, step out on a limb. Like you don't know how this would have first it was KK the brand. Put some respect on
Yes.
the girl.
Let's tell the
KK the
people about
brand.
KK
That
the
was
brand.
that was for number one. But even after that, like you branching off and doing something that was, totally different from what you wanted, which was still in line with the podcast. But
Hmm.
yeah, so
It's really crazy you mentioned KK the brand because literally people will ask me like maybe like every so often, every couple of months, when are you bringing KK the brand back? And I'm like, probably never. Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. My first passion is gonna always be mental health. Like psychology and mental health just is my passion, and I do love clothes. I ain't gonna lie, I do love clothes, and I'm getting into like my femininity or whatever, and like so I like trying to find what looks good on me and changing my wardrobe and stuff like that. So I do like clothes, but I realized I like mental health more. So if I was to
yes.
ever bring it back, it would have to be together. It would have to be like mental health shirts, or it'd have to be
Right.
like hoodies and stuff like that, journals. And I know right now I have too much on my plate to be trying to do all that. And I
Yeah.
don't want it to be rushed. I want it to be exactly what I want it to be. I want it to be great for y'all. And I know if I do it now, it won't be the best that I can do. So my goal for right now is to be, I really want to be somebody's brand ambassador. Like, you got a mental health clothing brand, you want me to wear it on the pod? I will. That's really what I want to do. I
Right.
really want to be on here and do somebody's clothing because I have multiple passions. And people
Mhm.
always say niche down, niche down. That's not my thing. I got too many dreams and goals and hopes
Yeah.
to go down. So the podcast really truly just means everything to me because
Mhm.
it's something I thought I would never be able to do, girl. Like, just saying it out loud sounds crazy. If I were to tell my
Yes.
younger self, like, you got a podcast, she'd start busting out laughing. It's a joke. No, no, pull out the cameras. There's no way but no, yeah, I'm really doing it. And my favorite part about it, and it's gonna sound cheesy, but I'm being serious. My favorite part about it is truly talking to y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I had a psychotherapist, a social worker, counselors, life coaches, physical therapists,
Yeah.
students, behavior technicians. Like, that's freaking cool, y'all. And multiple Black women,
Right.
women, period. I have men coming. And I just love that. The diversity, we're being inclusive, we're just being
Right.
intentional, just being open. And I just love that. And I'm learning from y'all. So if I can teach people, if I can
Yes.
inspire people and be inspired at the same time, I'm doing everything I could have ever asked for.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Thank you
Well,
so
we
much.
thank you for, having this. I thank you for, continuing to keep me inspired and I'm so proud of you.
I thank you for even coming on. And I'm waiting for your businesses. They're coming.
Girl, it's coming. It's coming.
Godspeed, Godspeed. There's no rush. It's coming,
Mhm.
and you already know I'll be here supporting. We gonna be here supporting, and I'm ready
Yes.
for your next journey.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. So, mind y'all, that's all we have for today. You are amazing. You are worthy. You are blessed, and you are the best. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.